Hello student, I'm a math teacher at Yad Private School. In this video, I will explain the first lesson in chapter 2. It's multiplying power. We have some notes, we need to memorize it, then we can solve questions, okay? First note, if we have multiply between two same base, we need to add their powers, okay? Sometimes we have two positive powers, sometimes we have maybe two negative powers, sometimes we have opposite powers, okay? If there is a power of n, for example, any power, 2, times a power of 3. As you see, there's two same base, okay, multiply between them, and two positive powers. Then we need to write a as it is. We can say 2 plus 3 equal to a power of 5, okay? What about if there's two opposite number? For example, b power 2 times, for example, b power of negative 1, okay? Again, we need to write one same base, okay? Because they are same base, we need to write one of them. I will write 2 plus negative 1, okay? Because we need to add their powers plus between them. And b as it is, 2 as it is, negative times positive is negative, and 1 as it is. So it will be b power of 1, and we don't need to write 1 as a powers, okay? Second note, it's about power of power. For example, we have x power of 2 and all to the power of 3. If we have power of power, or we can say power raised to the power, we need to multiply the powers, okay? We need to multiply 3 by 2. It will be x to the power of 6, okay? What's the difference between them? If there's multiply between two same base, we need to add their powers. If we have a term and power raised to the power, we need to multiply the powers. Third note says power of a product. If we have two, for example, we have x and y all to the power of 3, okay? Between them is multiply and raise it to the power. We can distribute the power for both of them, okay? Will be x power 1 times 3, 3, y 1 times 3 is 3, okay? What about if we have number inside the bracket? For example, we have 2 x to the power of 2 all to the power of 3. In this case, we need to evaluate the number by a power, okay, this number by a power and this variable by multiply. I will say 2 power of 3 when we distribute the power, and x power of 2 all to the power of 3. This is evaluated by a power. 2 power 3 will be 8, because 2 times 2 will be 8. Sorry. X to the power of 2 times 3 will be 6. So number by power and variable by multiply. Another note says any number raised to the power, if it's 0, will be 1. For example, we have 3 power of 0, it will be 1. Another example, negative 2 x to the power of 4. This bracket raised to the power of 0 also will be 1. Second note, we have a negative number raised to the power. We have two types of numbers, okay? It's even, odd. Even means 0, 2, 4, and so on. Odd means 1, 3, 5, and so on. If there is even power, cancel the negative sign. If it's odd power, we need to write a negative sign as it is. For example, I will write an example by a negative one, okay? For example, negative 1 raised to the power of 4, okay? It's even. Then the result by positive. 1 power of 4 is also 1, so it will be positive 1. Also a negative 1 raised to the power of 5, okay? Because 5 is odd, so I will write a negative as it is, and 1 power 5 means we need to multiply 1 by itself 5 times, so also will be 1. So even power can cancel a negative sign. Odd power, we need to rewrite the power, the negative sign as it is. The last note is, if there is a number raised to a negative power, we need to reverse it, okay? If any negative power, reverse the number. Let's solve some questions. We have exercise question 21. It's x power of 2 times x power of negative 6 times x power of 3. Let's solve it. I will write the same base as it is, okay? Because they are all same base, so I will rewrite it. It will be 2, okay, plus negative 6 plus 3. So x power of 2 minus 6 plus 3, okay, equal x. 2 minus 6 is negative 4, plus 3 will be negative 1. So we get an x as a term and raise it to the negative power. So I will write 1 over x to the power of 1, and we don't need to write a power if it's 1. Question 24. We have 3 power of x power of 6 raised to the 0. Because the power is 0, I will just write 1, okay? Question 27. We have b times x power of 3 raised to the power of 4 times b power of negative 2 raised to the power of 3. I will write this b as it is because there is no power, times x power of 3 raised to the power of 4 will be x power of 12 because we multiply the power, times b power of negative 2 raised to the power of 3, it will be negative 6. So they are same base. We can add their powers. It will be b power of 1 minus 6 will be b power of negative 5 times x power of 12 as it is because there's no same base for it. So this is a negative power. I will take it under the fraction, will be x power of 12 over b power of 5, and they are different base, so we can't simplify. Question 32. Negative 4 x power of 3 raised to the power of 4. This power is for negative 2, okay? So I will write equal sign. Because it's uneven, so this negative will cancel. We said, we talk about the note, if even power, we can cancel a negative. So 4 power of 4, you can multiply 4 times by itself. It will be 256. We said we evaluate the numbers by a power. X power of, multiply them, will be 12. Question 33, equal sign. This negative is outside the bracket, so I will write as it is because this power is not for this negative. this power is just for a term inside the bracket. 4 power of 4, as we said, it will be 256. X power of 3 raised to the power of 4 will be x to the power of 12. The difference between the two questions, this is negative inside the bracket, so this power is also for a negative side. This negative is outside the bracket, so this power, it's not for a negative sign. There is a multiple choice question. Which expression is equivalent to 3 times 10 power of 5? The second bracket, 4 times 10 to the power of 2. As you know, there is multiply between that two brackets, so we need to multiply number by number, and power of 10 times power of 10. 3 times 4 will be 12 times 10 power of 5 plus 2 will be 7. As you see, there is no result in multiple choice. We need to write this multiply in scientific notation. Scientific notation says we need to write a number between 1 and 10, okay? Must be a number less than 10 and greater than 1. So it's 12. The decimal point is here, so I will take it here. It will be 1.2. So 1.2 is between 1 and 10. Then, because we changed this 12 to 1.2, so we need to add the powers. Because we make a big number small, so the power will add. It will be 10 to the power of 8. So C is correct answer.